All right, so welcome everyone to Driven by Data, your AI toolkit to transform traffic data collection. My name is Charlene. I'm the marketing manager here at Traffic Logics, and I will be facilitating today's session. Before we dive into the exciting world of AI traffic data collection, let's go over a few housekeeping items. First, this session will be recorded live, and a copy of the webinar will be emailed to everyone after the session, so you can revisit any valuable insights or share them with your colleagues who are not able to join us today. At any time throughout the session, we encourage everyone to use our Q&A feature that you will find on your top right. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to use this feature. It allows you to ask questions anonymously, and we'll do our best to answer them during our Q&A session. We'll also have a single poll question open during the session. It will be anonymous, and it's a great way for us to better understand our needs in the traffic data collection industry, and we'll be able to see the results all together in real time. Now on to our agenda for today. We'll start off with a brief introduction to Traffic Logics and who we are. Then we'll jump into the current traffic counting solutions and their limitations. Moving on to the reason why we're all here, Traffic Pulse AI. We'll discuss what the solution exactly entails, how it works, and we'll even show you the different types of reporting available and much more. We'll reserve a few minutes at the end of the webinar for a Q&A session. And now, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our Senior Regional Manager and Professional Engineer, Mark Gregory. With over 30 years of multifaceted experience in traffic engineering, Mark Gregory has been an integral part of Traffic Logics for more than 14 years. His expertise spans various domains, including traffic data collection, impact studies, master planning, and roadway design. With a background as principal of his own traffic engineering firm and management roles in public, private, and military sectors, Mark brings a comprehensive understanding to every project. So welcome, Mark Gregory. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Charlene, for your wonderful introduction, and welcome everyone. I see that most all attendees are new today, and we only have about 30 minutes or so before lunch here, so I'm going to move kind of fast and keep this at high level. A deep dive into the setup, the software, and reporting features will be available with live one-on-ones after this webinar. I know you'll all have questions. I would as well. Just go to our website, hit the green quote button. You can fill in the information that you want a live one-on-one on the Traffic Pulse AI, and your local rep will then schedule a live session with you and your coworkers. So next slide here. A little bit about us. We began in the 90s. We incorporated in 2003. We started out by making rubber solutions, and then we started designing our own cloud-based, data-active speed radar signs and message boards, followed by our own cloud-based speed cameras, and most recently, the tubeless traffic data collectors. And today, we're happy to be presenting the mobile AI turn, class, and pedestrian counter. We're proud to say that we're the only company in this space to offer such a diverse and completely connected multi-layer solutions for your roadways. Our mission has always been and will continue to be to save lives by building better solutions. So goal number one today is to highlight the issues with existing tools everyone is using, and then show you benefits of the modern Traffic Pulse AI. Next slide. So case in point, the slide I would say really should be relabeled as the evolution of accounting. Some of the stuff has been around a long time. As population and modes of transportation continue to grow each year, each of these, that situation places greater demands on our physical space and our time that we have to do our work in the field. So you see here with the manual count pads and computer boards, they require a lot of physical effort and get you really close and into the intersection. So not an ideal place to be. The tube counters, you see those all over the place as well. Very dangerous for our workers. It's just simply not a good practice anymore, right? We have better solutions. What we mean by third-party supplies is whether you're using consultants, data collection firms, or image-based systems such as Pixel or ImageBox or just video, you still have a huge human component, right? And maybe you haven't thought of it, but each of these existing tools have that component that creates some other issues as you go along. So we'll go to the next slide here. So with these, the manual, the tubes, and the third-party studies, all these, excuse me, involve some form of interpretation. There's a recording pace that you have to deal with and heavy volume intersections. There's fatigue, of course, of the worker. There's different training and abilities of your technicians out there. The site hazards that are out there, setup and equipment failures, all these relate into, many more of the things you have to deal with when you're out in the field, right? Weather related. They all add up to higher lead times, higher costs, and narrowing our output capabilities. It limits what we do, right? So let's take a minute. We're going to take a poll now. And the goal, this is goal number 2, really, is, what is your why? Why are you here today? And there's a reason for everyone. This seeks to find some of your whys. So take a minute to make your selection. I'll have the ability to see the results here. And while we were waiting, some of the whys we have been hearing are the needs for shorter data processing times, fixed costs, limitless or shared scope, wanting consistent high accuracy, the ability to count complex or multiple intersections at one time. Maybe even live trip generation studies. We get that a lot, versus waiting on the IT trip generation manual. You can do it live and local, right? Maybe you want a one and done option and with the ability to do some post-study analysis. I see some of the results coming in now. Inaccuracy, limited spatial coverage, right? Maybe it's curiosity, or maybe it's obligation, to best serve your business, your clients, or public funds. However, all these reasons that we're seeing are really why you should specify the Traffic Pulse AI as the sole source for mobile AI traffic data. So they're seeing about 20%, 17 to 20% in accuracy. Spatial coverage, can you cover what you need to cover, or is it taking a lot of personnel? That's around 28% right now. Manual counting challenges around 28%, and lack of real-time insights at about 27. So the mid part of that range, the spatial counting challenges, that all makes sense. Hopefully we got most everyone in on that result. You can probably close that. Let me know when you want to close that, and we can revert back to the slide here. But it's staying pretty consistent at that level. So the next slide here, is Traffic Pulse AI. So AI, meaning artificial intelligence, it's all over the media these days, right? It's on your TV, your phone, and now it can help you count traffic data. To the right in this image here is the Traffic Pulse AI, the hardware, what that looks like. And it has a motion dampened AI engine that sits on the top of that pole. Now that is Wi-Fi and LTE enabled, right? So Wi-Fi, if you're somewhere where there's no internet coverage, remotely somewhere doing a count trail or whatever you're doing, no problem. Just use the Wi-Fi. It also has built-in LTE. So when you do have internet coverage, you can have a technician actually in the field set it up and call the office and say, hey, how's that look? And you can say, well, turn the camera, the system a little bit more. I want to get that other lane or whatever. So you can do that. So it's truly a one and done solution that way. We do offer an AC power system that uses power over the Ethernet if you happen to have that as a permanent base, or we do also have LTE with that as well. So that camera sits on top of what you see there is a 21-foot telescoping hardened pole. The image you see there, it's when it's in its down position, travel position. It's about 5 foot tall, as shown there. The power cord runs through the pole, which is a heavy gauge aluminum, and it's recoiled in the base system there you see at the bottom, right, for safety, protection, vandalism. In the middle, you'll see the hot swapping battery powered unit that is it added at post level for easy access while stabilizing the system at the same time. That makes a nice feature. The whole system is lightweight, deploys in a few minutes, and can fit in most any vehicle. It has a diagonal scope range of about 145 feet or 45 meters, which is handy. That covers most all intersections you may have. So what is Traffic Pulse AI? The AI system actually uses triangulation. It's similar to facial recognition systems, but for objects and without video. And this is important, right? Why is that important? Well, already in some parts of Europe, traffic video recording is illegal. It's because of citizens' privacy concerns. You can't even use a camera for that. So, more importantly, like many other traffic tools over the years, it is very likely that North America will soon follow the European video ban, leaving many of us scrambling for a better solution. And now you have it, right? Because we don't need video. So Traffic Pulse AI, it's feature rich. The data is immediately available after the study is completed. You can view up to 10 vehicle classes, including bikes and pedestrians, for volume, speed, class, and turning movements, all at about 95% or greater accuracy. That you can confirm yourself. Well, how do you do that, right? Well, there is actually built within the unit itself a 256 gigabyte SD card, right? That actually can record video if you select it and if you want to confirm your accuracy at every location. You can do that. You'll find that you probably won't after a while because you get the same very good results every time. But the video portion of this is actually free. So if you want to use it for whatever you want after the study, feel free to do so. It can take video as well, right? Another feature is to create your own class, which you see on top there. So you see the 10 classes, but you actually can model your own after the study's been done. So you want to do some different groupings together and look at how that affects the traffic. When you get the interactive site, when you do your one-on-ones, you'll see that the 10 classes is a lot of information there. So maybe you want to group that. This shows here two-wheeled, mid-size, and large, but you can literally make that anything you want and just group it down to whatever type of groups that make best for your analysis. The image to the lower left shows you, it's a partial snippet of the whole image, but what it shows you is the different colors for different movements and the fatter lines for heavier volumes, to give you an idea. You'll get that for the intersection as well as by approach, which is the image on the lower right, which then also breaks down each specific class and the volume for that particular approach. It'll do all the approaches, plus many other things. So you will get with this software reporting, the crossing chart you see on the lower left, you'll get one for all the vehicles. And then if you select bikes and pedestrians, there's a separate crossing chart for the bicycles and another chart for the pedestrians. So it's a handy, intuitive tool. You can look at it. You can re-edit the street names, the orientations, a lot of different things you can do, but it gives you an idea of what's going on. It's color-coded and annotated for easy interpretation. Very, very handy. So if the diagonal scope of the system, that 145 feet or 45 meters, does not meet your complex or large intersection needs, you simply can add a second camera. So you'll see in the image to the lower left there, the serial numbers, you'll see two different numbers. So you'll take two cameras to the system, you set them up, and it's going to act as a single study. You don't need to worry about controlling the timing and everything. You set up the schedules the same, and then you set up the counting parameters in unison to each one, start the study, and it comes out as one study. Very nice and seamless. Again, the data processing is immediate. If you have multiple cameras, you can share between cameras. That's one of our options. And the unlimited data processing is available for individual systems. So then you can count literally what you want any day of the week, all year long, if you want to do that. Reporting options. So after you get to the intuitive overview, and again, the one-on-ones is very helpful for this because there's a lot to see there. I just can't show it all today for timing reasons. But after you get to that and you want to now do reports, there's a PDF option. You can do a nice PDF colored option with all some of the snippets that I had shown before. There's also an Excel version, with the raw data as well, and a custom CSV file format. And I'll get into that a little bit later, but essentially that you can set it up for all your third-party inputs as well. So you can do timing reports, timeline reports. This gives you an idea to break out of what's going on over the course of your study for each class and percentages. It's a handy feature and give you an idea, does this make sense? Are the volumes, where you thought it was going to be? Do you need to do additional reporting? Maybe you got to do some other intersections. Maybe it was higher or lower than you thought, So these are all things you can look at quickly along the timeline and how that meets your peaks. Detail reporting. So you can get, your Excel file here that shows your, breaks it down all the way down to get your peak hour factors. I mean, you can get total counts, raw counts. It does each individual class. It does the total as well. Intervals, you can break this down, as low as 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5, 10, standard 15 or 30, even 60 minutes. So it depends on, how you want to break this down. You can get very granular to get what you need out of it. And that CSV file is very nice, whether you're using sim traffic or you want to run, the back end of your Excel into, your controller cabinet. You want to do some signal timing adjustments or whatever. You can have that ability with our custom CSV. Just tell us what the orientation is and settings for that, and we'll look to make that file in the format so you can drag that directly in. Pedestrian reporting. So this is great. Whether you're inside or outside, you have up to 8 separate bins that you can use for pedestrian reporting, and it gives you what's going on by movement from what direction they're going to where they end up. And very handy, very useful in a lot of different settings. This is one of our number one requested features that we have. Again, it's very useful for a variety of settings. Roundabout reporting. Of course, roundabouts you see these more and more. This is a fairly large intersection you see on the right. It would probably be a 2-camera setup, but you have up to 8 sides to get 8 different approaches if you need them. You may not even need that in this case here, but I've used that, the 8-sided approach I've done 2 intersections at once. They were side by side, 2 T intersections opposing, and counted them at the same time. I actually counted a convenience store in the process as well. So it's very handy. I mean, you can get a lot of information. Again, that diagonal view of that 145 feet, if it sees it and it recognizes the object, it's going to count it. So it's going to save you some time and some effort out there. Speed study reporting. Yes, it does speed studies as well. This is a 5-lane section. Look, no tubes, right? And there's no worry about any of that. It does direction A to B, B to A. Does not do individual lane counts, but like a tube counter, this will do 10 classes. If there's pedestrians out there, you could pick that up as well. Very handy. I think the more important thing here is you're starting to understand that a lot of the different peripherals and hardware that you have in your inventory that are used, part of the time, you can more or less get rid of that because you'll have one tool that you can use for intersection counts, pedestrian counts, your mid-block speed counts, just one tool. So if you're in an area, you can pick up all that information with one tool or multiple cameras, and all the solutions are the same. We offer an extended warranty for this unit. So those of you that have the unlimited package for data processing, say you're a data collection company, or you do this, quite often for your municipality, or you want to, because I know when I had my own firm, if you're trying to do a master plan, you may want to do 50 intersections, but the scope and the cost to do that, the time just doesn't allow it. You have to really drop that down to a more reasonable number just to get the most critical ones. But with this tool, with the unlimited reporting, you can count all those intersections. There is no limitations anymore. It's fixed fee. It's all set. And the extended warranty, what that does is, you're using it that much, you're going to get wear and tear on the camera, on the cabling, some of the hardware that's associated with that. If you purchase that additional warranty every year, then that's covered. You just call us up and say, hey, I got a frayed cable, I got whatever is going on there, and we'll send you another one. So that's a nice feature. So part of your speed, you get a little different reporting than you get with your intersection counts, of course. course, different information, but it gives you your standard min, max, average, 85th percentile speeds, just like you would in a standard engineering report. And it gives you, for all directions and in each direction as well. Speed range reporting, it also does speed range, gives you an idea what's going on holistically, whether it's for all directions or your north, south, east, west in this case, situations by approach. So pricing and packaging. So as I had stated a couple times here in closing, we offer fixed annual fee pricing. It's to simplify and best suit your needs. Request a quote, and your local TL rep will be in touch with a pricing guide and an opportunity to review the live data. So I know this was quick. We didn't have a lot of time. I do want to save some time for some questions, and I want to thank you all for your time and interest today. My contact information will be shown on the final slide, and a copy of this webinar will be provided to all in attendance. So Charlene, if we have some time for some questions, we can get to those now.
Okay, so we have a few minutes for our Q&A session. So any questions that we can't get to today, we'll make sure to get back to everyone by email with the answers. So I see we have a few questions coming in. So let's start with this one. In terms of hardware ownership and the all-inclusive pricing model, can you elaborate on how Traffic Pulse AI is more cost-effective, especially in comparison to traditional third-party traffic studies?
Well, yeah, I mean, you own the equipment, right? So that's a great question. I mean, again, back to owning all these different separate devices with separate software, separate licensing, processing, and collecting all that data. This is the benefit here is that it's one, right? You can use it for all those different methods that you're using previously. It's safer, it's reliable, very accurate. You're looking to a modern piece of equipment that's going to take you well into the future with data analysis. We don't know obviously what's going to happen in years out, but for right now, this is the latest and greatest. It's really the standard that we should be expecting for traffic data collection. So I think in summary, just it's a one and done. You buy it and really can cover a lot of different bases that normally you would have to pick up using other pieces of equipment.
Then we have, with the flexibility to adjust data sets pre or post study, can you share practical examples of situations where this feature has been particularly valuable for traffic engineers in optimizing their analyses?
Sure. Great question. Yeah, if you need to, say you're analyzing a bus lane with traffic and bikes or, before and after, so you want to look at that analysis of what's going on there, you can model it separately. So you can parse out those different modes of transportation together or separately. So I think it's important in that respect. It's it's a way really for pre-reporting, a way to really granular look at the data in different aspects and compare different modes. And it might be important, nowadays there's always more and more modes of traffic every year. It seems like more volumes, and you're getting to a point where some of these need separate venues to travel from place to place. So you need to model those. You want to look at those and maybe have an area already that has those modes. And you want to say, okay, if we separate them out, how can we best design, a system to handle those efficiently, safely, without conflicts? So that is one of the features that you could use for that.
We have another question. Can we do processing by ourselves?
Yeah, it's immediate. I mean, it's not, you use a data processing upload center, which it's handy with the LT cloud, it's there already. So as soon as the study is done, so you set a study, for a week or whatever you want to do, it's immediately available to you. You also can do it if you have multiple cameras and you bought a package where you only want to do, say, 200 hours. So after the first year, you've done all your studies, you would just want to do a little maintenance, maybe some pavement surveys or whatever. You got about 4 or 5 cameras. You can take that hours that you have and you could share that between all the cameras and use that way. So that's a handy feature as well.
I see we have one last question. In areas where data service is limited, how does this unit react? We have a few areas where an SP100 and SP800 does not always communicate.
Yeah, it does have, unlike the signs, if you're, I mean, the signs that we have are smart signs, right? So the signs don't really need cloud connectivity either. They will internally. There's a storage card, and I think they hold up to what is it, 2.3 million in that range of data points in the sign. So it can hold a lot of volume, even if there is no cloud connectivity. And then if you have none, you can pair to it. Same thing with this. If there's no internet connection in the field, it has Wi-Fi access. So there really are no spots that this cannot collect data. It's always there. The LTE cloud version, of course, is only going to function where you have internet connection. So, any other questions? Appreciate your time. I don't know if we have any others or if we're nearing our limit here. That went a little faster than I thought, but again, the live one-on-ones, if you go to our website, trafficlogics.com, hit the quote button, fill in the information, a local rep, see how close they are to your area. If not, we can do a Zoom call with myself. If you have some poignant questions you want to meet with someone, we can do that as well. So,
Mark, it seems like we have one more question coming in.
oh, great. Oh, we're right on time too. We got 2 minutes left. That's good. Respect your lunch hour if you're on the East Coast. And what is that question you have there? I know, like I said, we've been gotten a lot of people asking for trails, and I got one for snowmobiles, and there's a lot of, they realize the flexibility of this mobile system. We even have now, I know we don't specifically sell for this device, but I have a dolly that I've used, which is very handy if you're in an area you want to cart things around. It's not specifically designed for that. I have used it with the system, makes a nice system to add on. Adds a little cost to the overall hardware, but certainly a functional tool to have. And we do offer that if that's something that would benefit your system.
Okay, so we have two more questions. One is, I take it your IT team is well trained to assist us?
Yes, we have a full support staff on this. So in-house, and this is similar to all our other devices, right? Comes with a 2-year warranty, full warranty. Comes with free training, software upgrades for the life of the system, and we have tech support available, during standard hours. But I'm available to contact as well directly. But yes, we have a full staff for that, and we also have third-party assistance as well. So something that we just can't figure out, we will help you. We'll stand behind you just like we do with all our other products. We're here to help you and make this a positive tool for you.
Okay, so it seems like we're out of time and a few more questions came in, so we will definitely have our team connect with everyone who didn't have their questions answered.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you again. Hopefully this was helpful.